Do you know what scalability really means? It's not just rolling out to all the factories, there's so much more to it. If you want to know more, stay tuned. I will explain to you everything in details.
Tuponex, Smart Factory Solutions.
My name is Ricardo Santos. I'm the Industry 4.0 facilitator, and I simplify complex subjects so you have a good vocabulary to talk about with your team. And welcome to the episode 102, Scalability, one of the requirements for you to have success in your IIoT projects. So let's go to the definitions of scalability. The most common answer is deploying to a lot of factories, okay, and applying large scale. But there's so much more to it. What scalability really means? The most common misconception is that you have to duplicate effort to go from one factory to the next. Today, I'm going to show you some techniques on how you can build templates to make your rollout a lot easier, and some other techniques to make it auto-expandable so you can grow your application. And what we all know is that the fourth industrial revolution brings us more processing, better network for more traffic, better storage. And not just because you can, it means you should. So I'm gonna show you a few techniques on how to manage all that. Let's start with the proof of concept, your POC. It must be one area, max of 3 use cases, okay? And during all that, we're going to protect the sprint to avoid scope creep. During the implementation, it's okay to have some manual configuration where you have to do things manually, one after the other. And a few characteristics. We'll have low processing, low traffic, and low storage. And most likely, at that point, we will be choosing our vendors on an open architecture. You may want to use broker A instead of broker B. We can negotiate some trial license. You start with the trial licenses. You decide to go with this other vendor. That's all during the proof of concept. During that process, that's where we're gonna concentrate at. And after a few weeks, there we have it, your proof of concept, ready to go for the pilot. And now we are at the pilot stage. That's where we're gonna be applying to the whole factory. We're going to be creating templates. But what does it really mean? At this point, we already used the trial licenses on the proof of concept. We already chose our vendors. So now it's time to pay for the license. He will help you on how to select the best architecture for you. And you can go either with an open architecture using Portainer and using specific containers in there, and it's time to build your template using a Docker Compose, let's say. Or we can use other solutions like Litmus that we are using to roll out to 20 plus factories that they manage all these containers for you. Characteristics of this pilot. We'll be having medium processing, medium traffic, mostly local traffic in there at the edge, medium storage. That's the characteristics of your pilot. Now, it's okay to have rework, but minimum rework. We will be adding use cases, more than those 3 cases from the proof of concept. Now we are adding more use cases. We are seeing how far can we go. We will learn a few lessons, so it's very important to take notes of these lessons, and only then we can build a bid spec for RFQ for the rollout phase. Now, a few weeks later, you have your pilot up and running. It's the best time for change management. It's time to get the people on board. It's time to identify the resistance. If you like this video so far, don't forget to leave it a like to help me with the engagement. If you have any questions, leave it in the comment or just share your opinion about it. And don't forget to enable the notifications so you don't miss the next video. And at this point, rollout phase. You already built your templates. You already have your container image. So now it's time for mass deployment. And remember, the secret sauce to make it expandable, auto-expandable. What does it really mean? So your ultimate goal is to not have rework every time you add one more thing. It's time for your application to grow as it goes. So auto-expandable, it's a very good technique that you should use. A good example here. If we are subscribing to a topic, we are not going to subscribe to that specific data point and then you're going to create 100 data points manually. Remember, it was okay to do that manually on the proof of concept, but from the pilot forward, you have to subscribe to a topic. Okay, so every time that you add one more tag or 100 more tags or 1,000 more tags to that topic, everything is automatically identifies and everything automatically grows your application. Your ultimate goal is that you don't need a developer or an integrator to grow your application. Everything's automatically mapped and then everything grows as you go. Characteristics at this point. Right now, you're probably gonna have high processing, especially on the cloud, where you're gonna be managing all your sites. A lot of data traffic, your storage, everything will grow, so that's why it's important report by exception, data compression, and using the right type of database, like a time series database. At the rollout phase, what you have to avoid at all costs is rework. But if you've done your homework right here on the pilot with the lessons learned and bid spec for RFQ, you will no longer need rework because you already did here on the pilot. So there will be also no scope creep, no more budget, okay? So you can keep your projects on the timeline. And there it is again, change management, very important throughout the whole thing. So now we are talking to people, you're making them use, how we're gonna do that. That's up to the customers and I can help you on that. A facilitator can help you on this, okay? So there are a few techniques, let's say once a week you can all meet every day. We can look at the dashboards if it's really meaningful for 10 minutes on the shift handover. So you have to have people using and validating that data as you go, okay? In a long term, you need to have that data validated and make sure that the aggregation actually matches. And ultimately, you will enable the citizen developer. So now you no longer need, again, a system integrator or a developer to develop your dashboards. All your application will automatically grow. All of this information will be readily available to you. All this data is always available for anybody to build whatever application they need. Let's go. Time for a quick recap. So today we talked about proof of concept, how you should protect the sprints at all costs. It is okay to have manual configuration, trial licenses. We're gonna be choosing our vendors. Time for the pilot. We're going to choose one factory. We're going to create templates to be used on the rollout. At that time, we add more use cases. We do minimum rework right here on this phase with all the lessons learned. You're ready for the rollout. Now, rollout phase. You already built your templates, so now it's time for mass deploy those images. Now everything will be auto-expandable. Everything will grow as it goes. Now we have a little bit more data traffic, so we have to manage all that. Change management, very important. You need to get people on board. And the biggest takeaway from today's video, the rollout, it's not time to duplicate efforts from the pilot, mapping each and every tag. It's time for mass deployment. It's auto-expandable to your single source of truth. And I'm sure you already know, but if you want to know more about single source of truth, stay tuned for the next video that I'm going to explain to you every single detail about it. My name is Ricardo Santos. I'm the Industry 4.0 facilitator. I simplify complex subjects for everybody, so we have the vocabulary to get this going. I will see you in the next video, and let's stay connected.
Tuponex. Smart Factory Solutions.